Hello and welcome to Horizon, the video zine of JM Financial Services Limited. And today in the cover story, we are going to look at a bigger theme, a mega transformation that's taking place in India, the development of physical infrastructure in the company. And in a few quarters, it's discussed that India's infrastructure story is one of the biggest success stories of current times in today's world. So let's take a look at why infrastructure is critical, especially for a country like India. First of all, we've covered a few things about India, and we all know that it's a diverse country. It is widespread geographically, and in a few places, the population density is as much as the densest place in the world. So to that extent, it's a country of diversity, and all the diversity is rolled into one. In such a situation, what challenges do we face? Well, roadblocks. When the highways are choked for some reason, the goods do not reach the destinations in time, and that brings down the productivity of manufacturing. When the goods does not get transported in the best manner, and there are various perishable items, perishable commodities, food grains for example, when they are not stored properly in the absence of infrastructure, we lose precious money. And from that point of view, infrastructure becomes critical for three reasons. Number one, there is an economic impact, which we briefly touched upon. Second, a better infrastructure has the potential to create jobs and thus reduce overall poverty levels. And third, globally, it can enhance India's competitiveness or the competitiveness of Indian industry, whichever way you want to look at. So let's look at all the 3 points individually. First, the economic impact. The World Bank put together a team of experts and they came up with a report in March 2023. And they covered a large number of countries, and the period they looked at was 1992 to 2017, a 25-year period. And what they found was when the per capita road or the per capita kilometers of roads, let's put it this way, or railways in terms of per capita basis, or same way electricity generated or consumed, the number of mobile phones or number of telephone connections, when they went up per person, then the GDP of those nations went up. Look at it the other way. The countries with higher mobile penetration, higher phone connectivity, more roads, more railways, and higher electricity supply per capita, they witnessed higher GDP growth rates or economic growth. So there is a case for building infrastructure. Sometimes the results may not be visible in the short run, but there is a good long-term correlation. As we all know, the infrastructure projects which are building roads, ports, airports, laying down the railway lines, laying down the electric supply lines, all these things are labor intensive. And automatically when these things grow, there is generation of direct employment as well as many ancillary businesses, which means indirect employment also gets generated. So first, it creates lots of jobs. Because of that, as the larger number of population gets into the workforce, average poverty levels start to come down, or average families start to get lifted up above the poverty line first, and overall median income of the nation's population goes up. When infrastructure improves, the transfer of goods becomes faster, reliable, and more efficient. And as we just mentioned about the perishable items, if the storage is better and the transportation is faster, the commodities survive through the shelf life and reach the destination on time. All these things reduce the operational cost, or in other terms, improve the operational efficiencies, as well as they reduce the delays. Either ways, the companies become more competitive on a global scale. And when that happens, we are able to attract foreign capital, the exports also go up, and our dependence on imports can come down. With this background, why infrastructure is important? Let's look at the progress that the country has made in last few years. First of all, some of the infrastructure marvels that we've been able to create. One, of course, we are sitting here in Mumbai. So one of the finest pieces of infrastructure that we all love is the Atal Setu, which connects Shivdi in Mumbai to Panvel. And that's an 18-kilometer long bridge over the sea. Apart from that, the Atal Tunnel, which has been created, it's the longest tunnel on a highway in India. The bridge that is constructed on the Chenab River is the world's highest railway bridge. Asia's longest tunnel in the mountains is created at Jozila Pass, the Jozila Tunnel. And of course, the world's tallest statue, the Statue of Unity. These are some of the marvelous projects that India has been able to produce in last few years. The highways have been an item of focus. And what has been the progress? In 10 years from 2014 to 2023, there is a 60% growth in terms of the length of highways. In 2004, the total length of the highways in India was roughly 91,000 kilometers. In 2023, that's gone up to 146,000 plus kilometers. Highway construction during 2016 to 2022 has also been phenomenal. It's not just about the highways, but even rural connectivity through roads has been amazingly good. Again, between 2014 and 2023, as per the Government of India reports, 3.73 lakh kilometers worth of rural roads have been constructed. And as far as the goods transportation is concerned, under the Bharat Mala Yojana connecting the nation through highways that can transport goods, 15,500 kilometers worth of roads have been constructed under Bharat Mala Yojana. On the railway side, every now and then if you are a frequent visitor on social media, you would see somebody or the other posting a photograph, a selfie taken along with a Vande Bharat train. Vande Bharat train is another major attraction, but also a major success story, a homegrown success story, a train that is built in India. More than 100 Vande Bharat trains are running today in the country. Railway electrification has taken major strides. And in terms of the route kilometers, more than 61,000 route kilometers have been electrified, and that is almost 94% of the entire railway network. Within the cities, a little less than 700 kilometers worth of metro rail network has been built. Roads to railways, and now let's take a flight. In terms of airways, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik or UDAN project was announced 84 airports have been operationalized under Udan scheme, taking the total number of airports in India from 74 in 2014 to 158 in 2024. India is among the largest consumer of mobile data, the largest number of internet surfers. So having a large population, being the most populated country, is definitely something that plays a role, but the mobile penetration is equally important. And today, roughly 50% of India's population is connected to the internet. The electricity generation, the total installed capacity has jumped from 327 gigawatts in 2017 to 442 gigawatts now. Per capita electricity consumption has gone up from 22,000 megajoule to 24,500 megajoules. Whichever parameter that you look at, the growth is visible. What we presented are only a few data points. The story is almost the same on almost all these parameters when you talk about the physical infrastructure in the country. But then the focus on this infrastructure growth would continue, and eventually what it would result in. Again, we talked about some of the points earlier, but the result should be Indian industry would become globally competitive, foreign capital will come in, jobs would get created, and a higher economic growth would be a sustainable thing. And if this is not Amritkal, then what is? Thank you very much.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.